telling about your songs you compose, your influences?
Well, most of my songs are very personal songs. I'm sort of singer-songwriter in the classic sense of the word, inspired by Paul Simon, Joni Mitchell, Leonard Cohen. Those are my greatest influences. Most of my original lyric writing is in English, since English is still my strongest language. I do use the Middle Eastern influences mostly musically, harmonically, melodically, in the way I improvise, the rhythm patterns I choose, etc. And they come very naturally to me.
What have been, looking back, some of the highlights of your career?
Well, singing for the Pope, I have to say.
Okay, I'll get to that in a minute.
People always ask me about that, but and sometimes it would sometimes annoy me that that's all they ask me about. If I really would be pinned to the wall and said, well, what is the most? I'd say, yeah, singing for the Pope was a really defining moment in my life.
Where have you been hiding? Don't you know we need you? Things are looking pretty bad down here.
This was an Ave Maria that had original lyrics that I'd written.
Oh, okay.
It was not the classic Latin prayer. It was a very personal prayer for peace, which is pretty much ecumenical. Except for the words Ave Maria, there was nothing connected to Christianity there at all. And they stumbled upon this Ave Maria on the album. One of the organizers, he told me afterwards that he just by chance was looking through a disc shop and picked, he liked the photo of my face on the album. And he looked in the back and he saw Ave Maria and he said, well, let's listen to that. And then they called us up and asked us. At the beginning we didn't understand how important this event was. And very soon afterwards we consulted with some Italian friends and they explained to us this was something we should definitely do. And I went. I got a chance to meet the Pope, who was an extraordinary man.
Really?
Oh yeah,
Could you
he
tell
really
us?
was. Yeah, he really was. First of all, he really believed that the breaking of barriers between religions, especially Christianity and Judaism, was one of the keys to world peace. And he established an embassy for Israel in the Vatican, which was the first time this had ever been done. And he spoke very highly of Israel and of the Jewish people. And he said that one of the greatest tragedies in the world was the animosity between these two peoples. He was so open-minded, really. He was exactly what a religious leader should be. He constantly spoke against war in the name of God, which is what I think every religious leader should do. And he was always trying to find the things that Christianity had in common with other religions and not what separated them. I found him to be very unself-righteous and very open. And I had several meetings with him because I performed for him many times, yeah. He kept calling me back. He liked me. I think he liked me because he kept inviting me back to really important events in the Vatican, and he called me for an audience about 3 times. He met both my children. Yeah, yeah. He wanted to meet my children.
Come on, let's join him and sing
This event was important because it really did symbolize, for me, not only was I exposed to millions of people around the world through this, but in the right way, because what I was doing was performing an original composition, original lyrics. The song itself also, we don't play the prelude of Bach. It's a song. It sounds like a Paul Simon song, but it's an Ave Maria. So it established me not only as a singer-songwriter, but as a person who had something to say about something beyond, my own personal life, about something that was more universal. Another one, again in Italy, was singing for the movie Life is Beautiful.
Smile without a reason why. Love as if you were a child. Smile no matter what they tell you. Don't listen to a word they say, 'cause life is beautiful that way.
I I wrote the lyrics and I also did the arrangement. And Gildor wrote the Hebrew version. I think that song really touched people's hearts deeply, all over the world.
It did.
And the video also, I think, was the nicest video I ever made. Really.
Yeah?
Yeah. We made it in the streets of a small town in Italy with a little boy. I was pregnant at the time, actually, already, but nobody knew.
How was your childhood influenced by the fact that you've got kind of three ethnic elements, Israeli, American, Yemenite?
Fortunately, I found an outlet for that frustration in my songwriting. And from a very early age, I was writing songs that were trying to bridge the gap between these different cultures. My family moved from Israel to the United States when I was about a year and a half old. I think the first extremely influential thing that happened to me, which moved me in the direction of music, was being part of the school choir.
Ah.
Yeah, and the musical director called Achinoam Katz, and he arranged for me to record my songs when I was 12, to do a real first professional recording. And after that, I decided I went off on another tangent. I decided to move to Israel, but not for musical reasons, for personal reasons.
Ah.
And I went to the army.
You were in an entertainment unit.
Yeah, I was.
That's hard to get in. How did you?
I auditioned like everybody else. Yeah, and got in. It was music and rehearsals, and we went. We had shows every night. It was hard. It was very hard work.
Was it hard to come back to Israel? I mean, you must have been quite American by that stage.
Yeah, I had a culture shock.
Uh-huh.
First I had an identity crisis, then I had a culture shock. I finished my army, I went to study music at the Rimon School of Music in Ramat Shalom. It was a great school, I loved it. I was looking for a band, actually, that's the reason that I went. I wanted to find other musicians to collaborate with my songwriting and my musical vision. I couldn't imagine that it would be the teacher himself that would be my band, but it was, because Gildor was my teacher.
Now, you're a great believer in peace, and you're courageous about it. I mean, obviously this can alienate some people, but you do what you think is right.
My thing is that I don't belong to a political party, and I'm nobody's yes person. Meaning that, I'm not going to be saying what I think people want to hear, ever. I really follow my heart, musically and in every statement that I make. And I think I have a very overdeveloped sense of justice, or injustice. If I think there's an injustice, I'll go out there and try to correct it. That's, by the way, why I'm here with you. Because I think that if there's social injustice and if there's something I can do to straighten it out, just like you all of you volunteers, then I'll do my part musically to.
Okay.
And I've done a lot of that. Same goes politically. At a certain time, I felt that it was important for me to support the two-state solution and the rights of the Palestinian people alongside the rights of the Jewish people. And then, from the Gaza war, actually, I felt that things were starting to become distorted. And I started smelling something that I didn't like, which was the demonization of Israel, in every sense. The extremism of the way things were perceived, the black and white view, which does not exist. And I felt that what was due, what was in need, was a sense of balance. And so I brought that balance. Even though some of my Palestinian friends did not like to hear that, because, it helps them, it helps their cause to constantly be perceived as the victims and to have Israel perceived constantly as the aggressors. But it doesn't work that way. It's just not right. It's not right. And I'm sorry, even though it's much more photogenic and much more easier for people to digest. People like black and white things, but there is just no such thing.
Yeah.
My songwriting's like that. Same thing, too. I'm always trying to. I have a song that I'm very proud of called The Balancing Act, which I actually wrote as a lullaby for my children. But I think it has my worldview very well summarized.
Yes. And are you optimistic?
Sometimes more than others.
Okay.
But in the broad sense of the word, yes. Because, for example, just looking at the situation in Israel, when I started my career, there was still a law against meeting with the PLO or having any Palestinian interactions. You could go to jail for that. Avi Natan did. I love that one.
Tell me about your family.
My family is the most important thing to me. I have a great husband. I'm very blessed with a wonderful relationship.
Yep.
And my kids, they're great.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.